Am I audible? Students, am I audible or not? Audible. Yeah. Okay, hi everyone. I, Dr.D.Rajasekar, Professor, and today we are here to have a discussion on Paper 4, Business Economics for CAFC Foundation. The title called How to Approach Economics for Your Examination. So with this, we will start this session. So you all know very well, Paper 4 Business Economics. Students, am I audible now? Yeah. So in this business economics, 100 mark subject. So there are totally 10 chapters. Introduction to business economics, theory of demand and supply, theory of production and cost, price determination in different market, business cycle. So these are the units they have presented for old syllabus, but as per new syllabus plus 5 more units added. One is determination of national income, public finance, money market, international trade, Indian economy. But for today's session, we are going to have discussion on Chapter 1, Introduction to Business Economics, Theory of Demand and Supply, then Theory of Production and Cost. So these are the chapters that we are going to have the discussion. So Unit 1, Unit 1, Nature and Scope of Business Economics. So here What is meant by economics? Economics in Greek word, important question. Economics which derived from dash word means Greek word. In this economics Greek word terms, sir, open பண்ணுங்க. ஹேங் ஆச்சு போல ஆக்சுவலா. சொல்லட்டுமா? Students, please wait for 2 minutes. Students, am I audible? Okay. Okay. So nature and scope of business economics. First, economics means the term which has been derived from Greek word called oikonomia, means household. So what is the meaning of economics? Economics means point number one, when human wants are human wants are unlimited. Another one is the resources are scarce. So it's a study of process. Relatively, the scarce resources are allocated to satisfy unlimited wants of human beings in a society. So that's why economics, the term which has been derived from Greek word oikonomia, means household, and the another one is human wants are unlimited since the resources are scarce. Now, the next most important thing is subject matter of economics. In this subject matter of economics, there are two important types. One is microeconomics. Another one is macroeconomics. So micro means it's a study of behavior individuals and organization within economic system. So here it's a study of behavior. One is individual, another one is organization. So micro means small, but used to study about individual behavior of the person as well as the organization within the economic society. For example, product pricing, consumer behavior, economic condition, behavior of firm, then location of industry, factor pricing. So micro means small. It is used to study about the behavior of individual and organization within the economic system. So what are all the important components used to come under the microeconomics? Means examples: product pricing, the consumer behavior, economic conditions, the cost and location of industry, factor pricing, etc. What is the meaning of macro? Macro means large. Overall economic phenomena or economy as a whole. So here we have studied about only an individual behavior and organization, but here we are going to study about economy as a whole. So that's why macroeconomics used to comes under large. But for that, there are various examples used to come under even macroeconomics. So there are various examples used to come under the macroeconomics. The national income, they used to come under macroeconomics. Employment pricing. So in this macroeconomics, point number 1 deals with national income. Macroeconomics deals with the national income, and the second one is investment, government policy, employment, working of financial sector, and capital market. So these are the examples used to come under macroeconomics, hence economy as a whole. So there are two important economics are there. One is microeconomics as well as the macroeconomics as per the introduction to business economics recently, where as per the new syllabus they have included both, which includes micro as well as macroeconomics. So the next one is, in this unit 1 there are basic economic problems to be analyzed. So what are those basic economic problems which is very much important for the economics? The first one is what to produce, and the second one is how to produce. Third one is for whom to produce. So what are three basic economic problems? The dash deals with the basic economic problems, means there are three types deals with the basic economic problems: what to produce, how to produce, and for whom to produce. In another way you can expect the question for the examination. Point number 1, as we discussed, dash economics deals with the study of behavior of individual and organization within the economic system. A, microeconomics. B, macroeconomics. C, both A or B. D, none of the above. Like this they will ask the question, but for that the answer is study of individual behavior. Means let me know what is the answer for this question. Dash study of behavior, individuals and organizations within economic system. A, microeconomics. B, macro. C, both A or B. D, none of the above. Which one is the right answer? Students, am I audible? Yeah, answer is A, microeconomics. Now, business economics. In previously, we have discussed about the meaning of economics and the nature of economics. What is the difference between micro and macroeconomics? What are the basic economic problems which are dealt in economics? Now, what is meant by business economics? See, business economics, point number 1, the problem of rational decision making. Point number 2, the problem of rational decision making means, for you to understood, selecting an appropriate alternative. The meaning for this problem of rational decision making, selecting an appropriate alternative. Now here you may have doubt, sir, what to select an appropriate alternative? So there are two important points to select an appropriate alternative. One is right time that you have to select the appropriate alternative in order to achieve organizational goals. So what is the meaning of business economics means? You know the meaning of economics, but the problem in order to take the decision making with the proper selection of appropriate alternative in right time to achieve the goals of the organization. But for that, this business economics used to integrate process of decision making, process of business decision making. But to analyze the process of decision making, there are certain economic tools. Sir, what are those economic tools? First, you know the meaning of economics. There are two types of micro and macro. Then the economic problems. Later, why this economics shall be called as business economics. Why it is very much important for business term they have used here. Okay, and now we are representing the business economics. The reason is problem of rational decision making to be analyzed with the help of alternative. What is the meaning of alternative? Means the right time to achieve the goals of the organization, you have to take the proper decision making. But to analyze the process of business decision making, what are the economic tools can be used? Means point number one, the tools to use for taking business decisions, especially with regard to economics. Point number one, demand. Point number two, supply. And third one is cost, price competition. So these are the economic tools which are involved in the process of decision making. So here in this part we have discussed about the meaning of business economics. Now the next important thing is nature of business economics. Nature of business economics. So another important way they will ask the questions in the recent days. Okay, for example, nature of business economics means point number one, science is a side heading. Point number two, based on microeconomics. Point number three, incorporate element of macro. Then the next one, use of theory of market. And private enterprises. Pragmatic approach. Interdisciplinary in nature. Then the next one is normative in nature. So in these, what you have to do is first you have to be thorough with all the side headings of nature of business economics. Point number one, side headings are important. Nature of business economics. And they will ask the question, economics is a science. Yes, the reason is economic uses tools both mathematics plus statistics to take decision. Okay, students, am I audible? Yeah. So economics is a science. Why it is called as science? Which includes both mathematics and statistics in order to take the decision. Hence it is called as economics is a science. Next one is based on micro. The meaning of micro means decision making of a general environment or particular business environment. Which one is the right answer for micro? Decision making, okay, involved in the dash environment. Since we have already discussed, my question is, in order to take the decision making with micro, whether they will proceed with the general environment or particular environment. For micro decision making of dash environment, micro deals with either general or particular environment. So here the problem of decisions engaged in dash environment means particular environment. The reason is micro means what? Small. Okay, can you give any examples for the microeconomics? What are all the examples which you have discussed under microeconomics? Can you able to see the examples? Behavior of firm, location, factor pricing, product, consumer behavior, economic conditions. Okay, so all these are all the examples of what? Microeconomics. Now just see here, incorporate element of macro. Business manager study macroeconomic variable. For present or future as a whole. Hence it is used to come under macroeconomics. The fourth point, theory of market. The theory of market means resource allocation, pragmatic approach. It means the business economics is practical in its approach. Practical in its approach is called as pragmatic. Okay, so microeconomics is purely a theoretical. Microeconomics means it purely a theoretical, but at the same time when we are dealing with business economics, okay, so this business economics used to involve with practical in its approach. Next one is interdisciplinary in nature. Here mathematics is required, as I told, statistics is required, econometrics, management theory, then accounting, etc. All these are all called interdisciplinary in nature. Interdisciplinary in nature. So with the economics, if in case they want to take any business decision, they have to depend on the other important concepts, especially mathematics, statistics, then management theory as well as accounting. So hence these are all the points used to come under nature of business economics. And the next one is normative. So who is the author? One who given the definition for normative means Alfred Marshall. Important question for your examination, Alfred Marshall. So normative means Alfred Marshall. Same, in this normative there are two things. One is positive, another one is normative. Normative means who is the author? Alfred Marshall. Positive means who is the author? Robbins. One word question here also, examination point of view, it is very much important. Okay, so this normative deals with based on ethics. Based on ethics. For example, family planning started to control population. It's an example of normative science based on ethics. Positive science, example, India is overpopulated country. So this has been based on analysis, fact and realistic. So here we have discussed about two important points. One is normative science, another one is positive science. Okay, positive science deals with, or positive science is based on dash analysis, fact or realistic. Normative science based on dash ethics. Who defined the definition for normative? Alfred Marshall. Who defined the definition for positive, which is used to comes under the normative in nature, positive science? Then in such cases, Robbins. So like this, they will ask the questions. So till here, we have discussed about the meaning of economics and business economics and micro and macro and nature of economics and economic problems. Now you know very well economic problems deals with, there are three. One is what to produce, how to produce, whom to produce, and at last what provisions are to be made for economic growth. Now there are three broad classification. There are three broad classification. One is capitalist, socialist, third one is mixed. Capitalist used the tool of price mechanism. Socialist use the tool of central planning. Mixed economy use both price mechanism plus central planning. So there are three classification of economics. One is capitalist economies, socialist, third one is mixed. Capitalist deals with dash price, socialist deals with central planning, and mixed deals with both price mechanism as well as central planning. Now central economic problems. In these central economic problems, first one, you know very well how many number of economic problems are there. First one, what to produce. What to produce. When you will take such decision, resource are limited. So when the resources are limited, they should decide, society should decide how many units for of each goods should be produced. So this may be possible based on what to produce. So when the resources are limited, let the organizations, they should decide that how much units of each goods should be produced, comes under the category of what to produce. Second one, how to produce. In this how to produce, there are two types of techniques. One is capital technique, another one is labor intensive technique. One is capital intensive, another one is labor intensive. How to produce. So the choice depend upon availability of different factors of production. Okay, availability of different factors of production means based on the labor as well as capital, they will decide how much amount of quantity to be produced. So that's why here I mentioned how to produce totally, which depends upon there are two types of techniques. One is capital intensive as well as labor intensive, so which depend upon the availability of factors of production. Third one is for whom to produce. Here whom to produce means how the goods and services to be distributed. So in what way, once they produce the goods, later they have to distribute the goods. So how these goods and services to be distributed among the members. For that, the third point, for whom to produce. Last one is what provisions are to be made for economic growth. So what are the various provisions to be made? Means a society has to decide how much saving and investment depend upon how much saving, plus point number 2 is investment. It means how much sacrifice for current consumption should be made for future progress. So total there are 4 important. One is what to produce, how to produce, for whom to produce, and what provisions are to be made for economic growth. But for that, savings and investment which is required for you to understood. Let the every organization, they should see, especially society, they should see that how much sacrifice for the current consumption which is required, okay, for the future progress. Okay, so in this unit 1, economics, nature, micro and macro, classification of three types, economic problems, business economics. So all these points what you have discussed so far, any questions means let you can interact with me through the chat box. Students, any questions to ask? Question number 1. Capitalist economy uses dash principle means of allocating resources. A. Demand. B. Supply. C. Price. D. All of the above. Let me know which one is the right answer. Capitalist economics uses dash as principle, means of allocating resources. Just now we have discussed there are three classification. Capital economics. Yes, answer is C. Correct. Answer is C. Like this they will ask the question. Okay. Second question. The branch of economic theory that deals with problem of allocation of resources. A. Microeconomics. B. Macroeconomics. C. Econometrics. D. None of these. Which one is the right answer? The branch of economics theory that deals with only the problem of allocation of resources. A. Micro. B. Macro. C. Econometrics. D. None of these. Not an economy as a whole, only they have involved in the problem of allocation of resources. It means particular problem of allocation of resources. In such a case, which one is the right answer? Correct. Answer is A. Third question. economic problems arises when A, wants are unlimited, B, resources are limited, C, alternate use of resources, D, all of the above. Economic problem arise: A, wants are unlimited, B, resources are limited, C, alternate use of resources, D, all of the above. Which one is the right answer? I have given a hint already. In order to take the decision making, business decision making, I have given one important point as well as the economic problems: what to produce, how to produce, whom to produce. This may be involved in. Do you think that when the resources are limited means or wants are unlimited or alternative uses? Answer is correct. Answer is D, all of the above. Wants are unlimited, resources are limited, allocation use of resources. Yes, wants are unlimited, resources are limited, alternate. Answer is all of the above. So like this they will ask the question for your examinations. Another important fourth point: normative aspect of economics is given by A, Marshall, B, Robbins, C, Adam Smith, D, Samuelson. Which one is the right answer? We have already discussed about this. Normative aspect of economics is given by A, Marshall, B, Robbins, C, Adam Smith, D, Samuelson. Correct. Answer is A, Marshall. Last fifth one: microeconomics is concerned with A, consumer behavior, B, product pricing, C, factor pricing, D, all of the above. Microeconomics, first slide itself we have discussed. Correct. Answer is D, all of the above. Okay. Hope you all understood how they will ask the questions for the examination. Okay. Now second one, unit 2, demand. So here demand means desire or wish to buy. Demand means consume a commodity or ability to pay willingness to buy. Now just see here, demand means desire. Everyone may have desire to go by flight, but at the same time, which one is very much important to satisfy your desire means ability to pay. Everyone may have a desire to consume a commodity, but wish to buy or willingness to buy. So these conditions are to be satisfied, okay, for a demand. Now for this demand, there are determinants of demand. So what are the various determinants of demand? Determinants means it's the study of relationship between demand for a product, okay, and the second one is determinants. So this chapter is very important chapter for your examination, so please try to show your attention, okay. At last again we are going to discuss some important questions even on this chapter. Each and every question, okay, what I am discussing here, okay, which has been taken from the previous year question papers. So very easily you can be able to analyze in what way they are asking the questions, okay. So this chapter is very much important chapter, but for that there is a formula for determinants, dx. Dx, quantity demand of product, dx called quantity demanded of product. So dx equal to f of p pr y t e o. So for this, point number 1, price of commodity. Point number 2, price of related commodity. Third one, y which represents this, which represent p, pr, y represent income of consumer, income of consumer. Then the fourth one, t which represents taste and preference. Then E which represents future expectation about price. At last, O which represent other factor. So function P, price of commodity, R, related commodity, Y, income, T, taste and preference, E, future expectation, O, other factors. So now point number 1, price of commodity. Price of commodity means demand of commodity inversely related, and this point is important, demand of commodity dash inversely related to price. Inversely related to price means price increases, demand decreases, price decreases, demand increases. That's why it is called as inversely related. Important point. Price of related commodity. Related commodity means one is substitute goods, another one is complementary goods. Substitute means consumed in place of other goods called substitute. Say for example, substitute means tea and coffee. Complementary means pen and ink consumed together. Complementary goods are pen and ink consumed together is called as complementary goods, whereas the substitute goods means that you are going to consume in place of other goods. It is called as substitute goods. So price of related goods are two terms which is required to be presented. One is substitute goods, another one is what? Complementary goods. Third one, income of consumer. Your income increases, level of income increases, and demand for normal goods, demand for normal goods also positively related. Positively related. Here this point is very much important. Positively related. So once your income increases, you will show the interest in order to consuming the goods more and more. So once you have started to decrease your income has decreased, then your consumption also started to decrease. So income of the consumer which depend upon dash related, positively related. Price of commodity with regard to change in price dash related means then you have to know inversely related. Then the next one is other factors. And another important point, expectation about price. So expectation about what expectation? Future expectation. Okay. Say for example, price of computer expected to fall in next month. In case price of computer is going to fall in the next month, now what the people will do? Okay, demand for computer today decrease. The reason is they will wait till the computer price is going to fall in future. Okay, it is called as future expectation about price. Electricity price, in case if they are going to decrease in future, suddenly government is going to declare that some amount of units per unit they are going to decrease the price means. Okay, so now what we will do? The consumption level also started to decrease. Okay, and at the same time petrol price is going to be hike in future. Okay, tomorrow morning onwards petrol price is going to be high. Today itself people they will show much more interest in order to fill the petrol. Okay, it is called as what? Future expectation about the prices. Other factors deals with three. One is size of population, another one is composition of population, third one is distribution of income. So now just see here, size of population. Largest the population size, in case the population size is going to be increased, then what will happen? Demand also will be increased. Composition of population means group of people. Group of people. Say for example age wise. For example age wise. Okay, old people in region, then what they will do? Demand for spectacles will be increased. Okay, in a specific region where there are more number of old people means, so which one there will be a big demand in the market means, especially for the spectacles, called as composition of population. Distribution of income. There are two things. One is equal distribution and another one is unequal distribution. Equal and unequal distribution. Equal distribution of income increase consumption. So equal distribution, say for example there are 10 people used to get their income which is equal. All the 10 people, they used to getting their income is same. Same means what they will do? All these 10 people, they will show the importance in buying their consumption also same. Unequal distribution, in case among these 10 people each person where their income is different, in such cases which one will decrease? The consumption will be decreased. So equal distribution, consumption will be increased. Unequal distribution, consumption will be decreased. So these are the points let you have to write for the demand for determinants of demand. So what is the formula for determinants of demand means? First one P, which represents price of commodity, price of related commodity, income of consumer, future expectation about prices, and other factors. In other factors there are three factors: size of population, composition of population, distribution of income. Size of population, which represents whereas population increases, demand also will be increases in any specific region, whereas the group of old age people are more, then the spectacles price also will be high demand. So all these are used to comes under determinants of demand. Now the next one is law of demand. Law of demand, there is one important point. Ceteris paribus means other things remains constant. Mark it as important point for your examination. Other things remains constant. Ceteris paribus. It means law of demand, which represent the price of goods increases, demand decreases. Same price of the goods decreases, demand for that goods started to increase. So in this demand, one is demand schedule is important. Demand schedule. In this demand schedule, there are two types of demand schedule. One is individual demand. Another one is market demand. So here they will ask the question, there are dash number of schedules in the demand. One is individual demand schedule, another one is market demand schedule. So demand schedule means either table or chart. quantities of commodity demanded at different prices given period of time. Okay, now what is meant by demand schedule? Different quantities of commodity demanded at different prices, different quantity, either with the help of table or chart. It is called as demand schedule. Okay, it is called as demand schedule. So it is another important one word question, students. Mark it as important. Now, individual demand, another one is market demand. Okay, here I mentioned one important question. Okay, so dash schedule which represent different quantities of commodity demanded at different prices in given period of time means demand schedule. How many types of demand schedule means? There are two types. So what is the meaning of individual demand? Individual demand means the different quantities of commodity that one consumer, this point is very much important, only one consumer will buy at different level of price during a given period of time. So different quantities of commodity, one consumer, this point is very much important. Okay, say for example, price of sugar per kg, quantity demand. Here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Here, now just see the meaning. Will buy at different level of price. When 1 rupee quantity demand is 5, 2 rupee 4, 3 rupees 3, 4 rupees 2, 5 rupees. When the price goes on increasing, the quantity demand started to decrease. So same individual person, one who showing interest in buying the commodity at different level of prices with the different level of quantity is called as individual demand. Now what is meant by market demand? Market demand means different quantities of a commodity that all the consumer, here only one consumer, students, here all the consumers willing to buy at different prices during given period of time. So what is the difference between these two? Same here, buy at different prices during given period of time, different quantity, different quantity. Only one different point is here only one consumer, but here all the consumers. So all the consumers which represents market demand schedule. Only one consumer which represent individual demand schedule. So this point is important, and here this point is important for your examination. Now, rational to law of demand. Rational to law of demand. One is price effect of a fall in price. First, price effect means there are two. One is substitution effect, another one is income effect. So these 2 points are important. Therefore price effect equal to substitution effect plus income effect. Again another important question, price effect equal to substitution effect plus income effect. Okay, point number 2, arrival of new consumers. Price is decrease, number of consumers will be increase. Even the people not afford to buy earlier, now able to buy it. So once the price started to decrease means what will happen? Even the people, those who are not yet shown the interest, they will started to show the interest in order to switch over from one product to another product. In such a way, the number of new consumers started to increase. So arrival of new consumers, this point is important for your examination. Third point, different uses. When price decreases, can use for the quantity, product can be used for multiple use. Example, milk price decrease. Now what will happen? You can use for various purpose. Example, etc. So once the price started to decrease for any commodity, where the people will show in order to use that commodity for different uses. So what are the various rational to the law of demand means? First one is price effect. Price effect which includes two types of effect. One is substitution effect, another one is income effect. When the arrival of new consumers will be started to increase. Once the price started to decrease, new consumers will increase. Once the price started to decrease, the third point, okay, once the price started to decrease, whereas the consumers, what they will do, they will use that commodity for multiple purpose. Now exceptions to law of demand, very much important heading for your examination. You will expect at least one question from this specific heading. So exception means point number 1, conspicuous goods, given goods, demonstration effect, future expectation about prices, irrational buyer, speculative goods. Point number 1, the conspicuous goods, goods with prestige. Goods with prestige value is called as conspicuous goods, also called as Veblen goods. Say for example, Audi car, when price increases, the demand will be increases. It is very much important point. When the price increases, demand will be increases, especially for the what type of goods means Veblen goods or conspicuous goods, goods with prestige value. Giffen goods, inferior goods. Inferior goods means price increased leads to increase in demand. Previously we have discussed about demand means price increases, demand will be decreases. But now just see the points. Even the price increases, demand also will be increases. Example, bread. Okay, so even the price started to increase, but the people will show very much interest in order to have the food, especially bread, where the Robert Giffen is a famous economist. He identified the number of people, they have shown very much interest in order to having the bread. So later he derived that the Giffen goods are there, especially example is a bread, okay, also called as what type of goods means inferior goods. Demonstration effect, consumption pattern of social group to which individual belong to. Say for example, demonstration effect means someone is using the mobile phone, okay, while looking at their interest, immediately you also started to buying, the consumer also started to buying the commodity. It is called as demonstration effect, where the people are influencing or the people are after looking at the others, where they have decided to consume the same commodity, but during that time they won't see the price. Even the price increases, they will show interest in buying that such commodity. So therefore price increases, demand also will be increases for the demonstration effect. Irrational buyers means they used to buy goods even at higher price. So irrational buyers means they won't bother about the price, okay, even the price increases, they are ready to buy. So these type of buyers are called as irrational buyers. Speculative future expectation about prices, already we have discussed. Now speculative goods. Speculative goods, price increases, more will be demand. Price decreases, less will be demand, called as speculative goods. So here expectation to the law of demand, there are various types of goods. In all these types of goods, only one point we have discussed. Even the price increases, demand also will be increases. Even the price decreases, demand also will be decreases. Okay, it is very much important question for the examination. Okay, now the next one is, there are two types. One is expansion and contraction of demand. Another one is increase and decrease in demand. So here expansion and contraction. So this curve, which represents expansion and contraction of demand, P2, P, P1, same way Q2, Q, Q1. Here contraction and this arrow mark which represent expansion. Whereas price decreases, quantity demand increases, called expansion. So this expansion always, which movement means? Upward. Expansion deals with downward movement. Contraction deals with upward movement. So therefore contraction, which represents price increases, quantity demand decrease, called as contraction. So here you will expect the question, dash demand which slopes upward means contraction. Okay, dash demand which slopes downward means then expansion. Expansion and contraction of demand which deals with when price decreases, quantity demand. Let you have to see only quantity demand. Okay, so here price and quantity is same. When quantities increases, Q to Q1, quantities increases, okay, price is decrease. So this portion only, this portion is called as expansion, since it is quantity demand is started to increase. When quantity demand is decreases, price started to increase. Now just see this portion. Okay, but quantity demand is decrease. So quantity demand is decrease, hence this arrow mark which represent contraction. Again important, based on these points they will ask the questions. Okay, now increase and decrease in demand. Next one is increase and decrease in demand. It will come like this, students. Q, Q1, Q2. Price, D1, D, D2. Okay, so this portion increased and quantity demand, this portion is started to decrease. So now just see the arrow mark, this portion and this one. Okay, so there are two shifts are there. Change in demand at each possible price. Increase in demand, rightward shift, this portion. Increase in demand, this portion. This portion is rightward shift. Then next again decrease in demand. leftward shift. Now just see here, decrease, which direction? Leftward direction. So decrease in demand leftward, increase in demand rightward. So this portion is important. Now elasticity of demand, which means degree of responsiveness of quantity demand, percentage change in quantity demand divided by percentage change in one of the variable of demand. So this formula is important for your examination. Meanwhile, you should know the meaning. Elastic. Elastic means change in quantity demanded due to change in price is large. Same point for inelastic, price is less. So here you should understand the meaning of elastic. Quantity demanded due to change in price is large. When there is a price is more, the quantity demand used to change, but at the same time for inelastic, same change in quantity demand will be changed, but due to price is less. But these two, elastic and inelastic demand, with the various examples which we are going to discuss in detail. Okay, but before that, in this elasticity of demand, okay, last heading we are going to discuss, later one word questions we are going to discuss. Okay, so now in this elasticity of demand, one is price elasticity of demand is there. So in this price elasticity, point number 1, perfect or inelastic equal to 0. The diagram will be like this. Okay, so here the demand curve is vertical. So y axis which represents price, q axis which represent quantity demanded. So here the curve is vertical. Point number 2, the quantity demand does not change as price change. Example, number of matchsticks consumed by household. So even quantity demand does not change as price change, means the matchbox price is very less. Even the price increase, but it won't affect the demand. The people, they used to buy. So hence here it is called as what? Inelastic. Why I have represented the inelastic means change in quantity demand due to change in price, but this price is for inelastic is small. Point number 1. Point number 2, same under price elasticity of demand. Second one is unit elasticity EP equal to 1. Diagram will be like this. So both price and quantity demand are equal. Okay, so how much percentage quantity demand is increased, same percentage price also started to increase. Okay, so the fruits and veg consumption increase or decrease, but they used to go in both same proportion. Both are in same proportion. Both means what? Both price as well as demand in same proportion, called as unit elasticity, E equal to 1. Then the next one is E equal to infinity. Okay, E equal to infinity, greater than 1 but less than infinity. Okay, so for this the diagram will be perfectly or infinity elastic. Then less than 1 inelastic. Now just see here, price, quantity, this portion is very less than 1. Okay, so quantity demand changes by smaller percentage than price. Stable food, example either wheat or rice. Then greater than 1, the greater than 1, same greater than 1 comes under elastic. For this, now just this portion will be more and here it is very less. So this which is used to represent quantity demand changes by larger percentage than price. Example, luxury goods, car, etc. So in this elasticity of demand, there are various elasticity of demand is there. One is price, income, cross, arc, point. Now in this price, there are various types of elasticity of demand. Perfect or inelastic, EP equal to 0 is important for your examination. Okay, even the quantity demand does not change as price changes. Example, inelastic, price elasticity, perfect or inelastic. Second one, EP equal to 1, both used to come under, goes under same proportion. As price increases, demand also will be same. Infinite elastic demand, less than 1 inelastic, which means quantity demand changes by smaller, this portion smaller when comparing to the price. Example, wheat, rice. Point number 2, greater than 1, same elastic and inelastic. This was point 1 and point 2, but totally in price elasticity itself there are 5 important types: perfectly elastic, perfectly inelastic, unitary elastic, relatively and irrelative. Okay, greater than 1 as well as less than 1. Here larger percentage. Now just see here, larger percentage quantity demand comparing to price. Example, luxury goods, cars, etc. Okay, so these are the various types of demand, especially under price elasticity of demand. Okay. So now we will see the questions. Question number 1. High priced goods consumed by status seeking rich people to satisfy the need for conspicuous goods. A. Veblen effect. B. Bandwagon effect. C. Snob effect. D. Demonstration effect. So which one is the right answer, students? Which one is the right answer? High priced goods consumed by status. For exceptions to the law of demand, we have discussed there are various types of goods. Conspicuous goods. A. Veblen. B. Bandwagon. C. Snob. Demonstration effect. This is the first question. Like this they have asked. It is a previous year question. Let me know the answer from your side. Can you able to see here? See the point, exceptions to the law of demand. Now question what they are given. For this one, answer is which one? Conspicuous rich, status seeking people are there. So the answer is which effect? Veblen effect. Okay, like this they will ask the questions. Question number 2. In the case of dash, there is inverse between income and demand for product. A. Substitute goods. B. Complementary goods. C. Giffen goods. D. None of the above. So for this, income and demand for a product, answer is Giffen goods. Now you may ask, sir, why Giffen goods? The reason is, what type of, there are the goods, in the special case of inferior goods is there. Okay, even here the Giffen goods, demand increases, price increases and falls when the price decreases. So even for Giffen goods, what will happen? Demand increases as the price increases and later it falls when price started to decrease. But there are certain amount of goods, for example inferior goods, people buy less when their income increases. Giffen goods already here I mentioned, just see the point here for the Giffen goods. Giffen, inferior, bread, already I given the points. So based on this, answer is Giffen. The reason for Giffen goods is people buy less when their income increases. Therefore, what type of relationship here? Inverse relationship between income and demand of product. So, but for that, you should know the exact explanation for the given goods. That's why given goods, even under the explanation I have mentioned the inferior goods, example bread. Okay, even the people, they used to buy less, if still their income started to increase. So that's why it is used to come under dash relationship, means the answer is what? Given goods. The third one, effective demand depends on A, price, B, cost, C, desire, D, product. So even for this question, effective demand, when we are discussing about demand, which one is very much important to have a relationship with the demand? So far we have discussed, but which one is the right answer here? Either price, cost, desire or product. For this, the answer is A. Okay, so like this they will ask the question. So far what you have discussed, unit 1 and unit 2, in unit, so far whatever the concepts which you have discussed for the today's session, one is unit 1, the economics, nature of economics, as well as the business economics and the types of economics, micro and macro, and economic problems and mixed capitalist economics we have discussed. And the unit 2 starts with the demand, the meaning of demand, law of demand, rationale of demand, exceptions to the law of demand, and the types of elasticity of demand. In that elasticity there are 5 elasticity of demand, especially price elasticity of demand. Again there are 5 types of price elasticity of demand, followed by the multiple choice questions we have discussed, which are very much important for the examination, as well as you should comes to understood for the based on the today's session how they will ask the question, in what way you have to mark the answers. Okay, so now I am concluding this session. I am expecting each and every students to attend the same. In the next class, the next session, we will intimate to you. Based on that, try to attend the session followed by unit 3, unit 4 and unit 5. We are going to have a detailed discussion again with the title of how to approach or how to prepare for your examination. Okay, so with this I will conclude the session. Thank you all for attending the today's session.